Okay. So today would be the first class to this training, and this is basically project management professional and more. That is about the class, management professional and more. What do I mean by more? There is a scope by the PMI which is actually required for a project management professional to have. So that scope, we're going to be covering that scope, and we're still going to be looking at scheduling and ensuring that we learn the software. So that is why I say more. So this whole class, this whole training, it's a professional training, and I believe at the end of the day, we would have what it takes to be on any kind of project, whether it's a pharmaceutical project, construction project, and or engineering project. It doesn't matter. Your background does not matter, because I'm going to be deploying the right knowledge that will enable it is needed to scale us up and to deliver value to project owners. That's what I'm going to be sharing with us. But I'm going to be pleading for your attention, and I want you to take this seriously. More than the scope that will be shared in any MSc is what we'll be covering. More than the scope that would be shared in any class around the world, that is what we would be sharing. I know what the project management professionality would cover. That covers just 35 contact hours. But we want to ensure that we do more. We want to ensure does not actually. So before we continue, I'm going to give a brief introduction of myself and the reason why I call for this class, and particularly for my I'm an engineer by profession. I've worked on the gas industry. I worked as project engineer several years back on the Brass LNG project, and I was trained by Bechtel Corporation. Bechtel is one of the American giants in construction. Bechtel was in charge of the EPC, engineering, procurement, and construction of the Brass LNG. And there now we played the role of the owner, representing the owner, and we did the feed, what is called the front end engineering design of the Brass LNG project. And on that project, I started as a trainee, then became rather responsible project engineer on the project. I headed lots of projects. I was in charge of the Brass LNG gas trains geotechnical foundation. That was about $387 million project in the Brass LNG project. I was in charge of it, and I delivered it successfully. I left there, went back to my university where I did my first degree as a chemical engineer. I went back there, became their project management principal consultant, that is. And I was there, I served there, moved it to another level, established it, and left and joined Alibotin. In Alibotin, I was a cementing engineer. So aside that, I've led lots of business startup projects I've trained lots of people in project management to be certified, and I'm a project management professional according to the PMI standard. Project management professional is called the PMP, which is the number one certificate in project management in the world, prized over even a PhD. I have project management in construction, University of Salford, Greater Manchester, MSc. As we speak right now, I'm in Unilag campus. I'm going to be rounding up MSc in chemical engineering in within 2 months. And I'm also an expert in procurement and supply. When you get onto YouTube, you'll see lots of my video. I have the number one certificates in the UK in procurement and supply. I'm chartered there. I do trainings within it. Then I work for what is called the NCDMB indirectly. That is Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, where multinationals and contract owners that could have gotten a contract up to $1 million are mandated to give back to Nigeria to train Nigerians. So there, I train on Nigerian content development. I train on project management. I train on oil and gas engineering, and that's what I do there. I'm also an author. I've written several books, but two books that will come into your mind is the two books that I want to release that have been publicizing, which are The Professional Negotiator, and it's a must-get book for every one of us, and also how to be how to become a project management professional, how to become a project management consultant and make it big. In it, most of these knowledges that I'm going to be sharing with you are cascaded. Several years, I've had the opportunities to be invited on projects around the world. But for the past 3 years, I've been getting calls, and this is why we are here today. I've been getting calls, emails inviting me to be on projects from companies in the United States. But when I tell them that I'm not there, they ask me for recommendation, who I can recommend. And I start recommending my students. And some of them have gotten jobs. But I've actually run out of students in the United States. So I think I wanted to call for a greater furor for people who would like to upskill, people who would like to add value, who would like to change what they do so they can earn better and work less. I spoke with some friends around the US, and they told me that people will be willing to pay, but I actually told them that I need serious minded people that can stick to the plan so we can get volume. If we place money upon it directly, people may not want to pay. So why not we train for free? Let's train for free. And that is why we are here today. Ajoke, you have not connected your mic, your device. Connect your mic now. If you can hear me, Ajoke, kindly connect your mic, and then I'll be able to let you in. Okay, so that is that, and that is why we are here today. I'm looking at we understanding what project management is and getting a professional knowledge in it according to the requirements of the US. If you follow what I'm doing, what I'm going to be sharing with you, you don't need any certification anywhere. You don't need any other formal training anywhere. You're going to be the trainer because I'm going to be breaking you into the body of knowledge, project management body of knowledge. It doesn't matter whether you are a nurse, it doesn't matter whether you are in procurement or you are in whatever you may call it, a boat driver, or maybe you are in the finance area. You can manage any project. You can manage even an engineering project at the end of this training because there are specific principles that I'm going to be bringing in, I'm going to be sharing with you, I'm going to be breaking down to your understanding. So if you put in the effort, you will get that knowledge. And this is my target. I want us to be able to get these jobs in project management before the end of 3 months and 3 weeks, starting from today. Because even today, I'm going to be sharing light. So there are lots of areas we can find project management knowledge. Is not listen, we are in the introductory part of it. Lots of industries, fashion industries, in videography, even in political campaigns, you can be the project manager. In the ministries, religious events, for startups, as long as you have people gathered to want to get things done, or anybody who want to get something done, you can help the person to achieve good success. Could be the non-governmental organizational sector, private sector, public sector, it doesn't matter. We have a place therein. So there are 10 roles that you would be targeting at the end of this training, not just one as the project manager. What are these roles? The first one, we are having a challenge with the room right now. Somebody is trying to join, and I think we need an upgrade of this version that we have. People are trying to join, but I'm not being able to let them in. But if they can hear me, it's still okay. It's just for them to hear me. Okay. Ajoke, if you can hear me, kindly drop a message in the group that you can hear me. So that would let me know that you can hear, because I'm not being able to add you right now. I think at the end of today, we will be looking at an upgraded platform. Maybe we move to Zoom or any other platform that will enable us get the more persons in and do more things. So just drop in the group if you can hear me, so I can be aware that you can hear me. Okay, can you hear me? This is to Ajoke.
He just said in
Okay,
the chat he can hear you.
okay, beautiful. That is nice. So I don't have any troubles if you can hear me. So that's great. All right, beautiful. Okay, so that is that. What are those 10 roles? I'm going to be moving from the most familiar to the unfamiliar, which the very first one is you working as a project manager. Working as a project manager, you would be overseeing the entire project life cycle of any project you look at, moving the people from the initiating phase to the closing phase. You manage the scope, you look at the schedule, you manage the schedule, and also the finances, the costs. You be the one to set the rules for costs, you and your team. You manage the risk, identify the risk, and manage them, and the stakeholders' expectations. You would, that is to say, the project is delivered into your hands, and you are the manager of materials, people, and time. Everything rise and fall on you as a project manager. In this area, you would need some like 3 to 5 years experience to serve as a project manager, but it doesn't matter. I'm deploying more than 15 years experience into you. So if what I've learned with 15 years is being shared with you within 3 months, that means you have that experience. Number two is project coordinator. You can also work as a project coordinator, where which you support the project manager in administrative tasks, talking about schedule. You help him to do scheduling. You set up meeting logistics and carry out some documentations, and then you track the progress and update the project records as the project coordinator. And another role is the project scheduler. The project scheduler is in charge of the software we use in carrying out scheduling. You develop and maintain the project schedule, and you'll be using either the Primavera or the MS project to monitor the timelines, to define the timelines, to set them. You look at the dependencies of the activities of the project, and you analyze and come up with the critical part of the project, which is the longest duration of the project, the longest part of the project that is being used to determine the project duration. So as a scheduler, you need to know the Primavera or the MS project. And in this class, I'm going to be teaching you Primavera from cradle to cradle. You're going to be a professional in Primavera. So within 1 to 2 months, we could have started Primavera. We would all have it installed on our systems and we will start learning it. So you see, you're going to be so good. Either they are giving you this or that, whatever that is being presented to you, you would be there to capture it. And the next one, which is number 4, the project planner. Though in some organizations they used to mix the role of the scheduler and the planner together, but the scheduler is just like a click person, the person who has mastery over the scheduling tool, that is the MS project or the Primavera. All right, he knows where to start the plans when the activities are being defined. He knows where to click and to keep them in the software. So he is just the person who sits there. But now the job of the planner is a little bit more, though they some employers may want you to do more. You understand? You still be the planner and also be the scheduler. But what does the planner do? The planner actually focuses on the detailed planning of the project, where which you carry out resource allocations and you come up with forecasting, and you work closely with the project engineers. You can also be a project engineer, okay? And you work with the technical team members so you can align the execution plan properly in a way that the scheduler can understand what you people are talking about. Okay, that is 4. Number 5 is you, the project risk manager. Now, risk management is just one of the 10 knowledge areas in the project management knowledge areas. Okay, just one. So you can be a risk manager. You, as a risk manager, what is your job? Your job is to identify potential risk. And when you identify this potential risk, you come up with mitigative strategies. I'm talking about setting up contingency plans. These contingency plans can come into forms, what is called the contingency reserve or the management reserves. These are things you would do. You come up with contingency plans and you maintain the risk register. Now, what is a risk register? The risk register is where we have all the identified risk being cascaded into in their numbers. You might have identified 10,000 risks on a single project. You have it being cascaded there. Maybe you arrange them according to their priorities. And then we do what is called the leads and the lags to review the risk. So you're going to be leading the review of the risk every day as a project risk manager. You'll be full of responsibilities. At the end of this training, we just pray that we keep going, we find motivation to keep attending, we find resources to stay advancing. Okay, so the next one is you working as a cost controller or a cost engineer. I've worked as a cost engineer on the Bonnie LNG platform, though for a short while, where you track the budget, you make financial forecast, you handle the change management and come up with the trade-off, what the changes are going to be affected by the changes advice to advise the leaders of the project so they can know what is happening. And in this place, there's what is called the end value analysis, end value management, where you will be analyzing variances, cost variances, schedule variances, and be looking at the financial implications of them as the cost controller or the cost engineer. And I'm going to be teaching you all that as we move on. Then the quality assurance manager. Wow, that's number 7. Quality assurance manager. What is quality? Quality is zero defect. You see that? Quality is customer satisfaction. So you would ensure that deliverables meet quality standards. You must ensure that you have knowledge of the regulatory requirements so you are satisfied in stakeholders, inspections, you carry out audits, and you stay in charge of the quality control processes. Then number 8, procurement manager and contract administrator. Recently, one of my students in the United Kingdom, precisely stays in London, he called because he was going for a scheduling job. We went for the interview and he said something happened. In my interview, they asked me if I can do tender, and I said no. That was what he told me. I said, why did you say no? It's because I said that was the first time I was hearing tender. Uh-huh. The first time? I said, look at your problem. When he called me, he's a student, but not paid student, old friend. He said he wants to change job, that he's not doing well. I said the fastest thing is for me to teach you project management and teach you scheduling so you can have a scheduling job within 2 to 3 months. So I said, but I want to teach you project management first before I'll teach you Primavera. We started class 1, class 2 in project management. He said, can we not go to scheduling? I said, yeah, we can go. But I am the professional. I've been in this industry for years and I know what you need. And I started begging him. He started begging me. He said, he was begging me, I was begging me, wanted me to go into the software immediately and learn the software. I said, calm down. I said, let me teach you project management because the gateway into getting all this job is project management knowledge. When they come in to want to interview you, they want to know the other values you can bring in. As a scheduler, you need to understand everything about project management in the interviews because without this knowledge, you may not do well. Somebody coming in with this knowledge. Now, the project management knowledge is a strategic knowledge. The scheduling knowledge is a tactical knowledge, which is in the hierarchy of project management. You are like a tactician. Why the project manager is a strategist. Then we have the operational guys. So you need to understand the strategic knowledge because in an interview, when every man talks about tools, talks about skills, you should be talking about strategy. People want to know if you have understanding of their core businesses and how you can add value. So why not we talk about that? Let me teach you project management. And then he argued, and then I said, okay, let's go. I taught him scheduling, and the interviews went on. The interviews went on, and now they are talking about procurement knowledge, contract management knowledge. I said, you see life? I wanted to teach you experience that could put you over and beyond, that could give you an edge over your contemporaries, but you were rushing. What is tendering? Tendering is you now coming up with a knowledge of what the organization want to buy or sell or construct or build. You are sending out invitation to tender. You send out some information about what you want. It may be that the organization has knowledge of what they want to buy, they want to build, but they are just looking for people to come and tell them how much it will cost them. That is request for quotation. But in a place where the organization does not have knowledge of what they want to build, they still need people to come and demonstrate the knowledge. And at the same time, tell them how much it will cost them. Then the organization send out what is called request for proposal. And among these, we'll be talking about money, which is the tendering aspect of it. And there are certain ounces, certain knowledge, certain KPI, certain metrics that we use in evaluating, analyzing the most economical and viable tenders. These are things I could have shown you. These are professional knowledge. When you get into the universities, they are not taught. So I was telling him, I said, you see now, I could have opened you up for more, but you were focusing on just scheduling. Now you're not being able to get the scheduling job. You're not being able to get it. So in this class, we're going to be patient as we travel across domains. So procurement manager, the contract administrator, you manage the vendor selection. The vendors are the suppliers. You manage their selection. You carry out negotiations. Just like I said, my book, The Professional Negotiation, covers this in detail. You understand procurement activities, so you will be the one in charge of procurement activities. You ensure timely delivery of materials and services. Our orders are being placed. Our materials are archived. Our materials are stored. The downtime, the cost of holding too much materials. You understand first in, first out, and just enough. Then stakeholder manager, you can be a stakeholder manager number 9 as a stakeholder manager. Stakeholder manager in some organizations are called the communications manager. They just put you there so you can interface with the sponsors, the project owners. You manage the stakeholders' engagement. You come up with communication plans and how to give feedbacks. You keep the feedback loops. You facilitate clear communications between the performing organization and the external parties. Number 10 role is the project control analyst. The project control analyst actually monitors. You analyze the cost. You analyze the schedule. Now you are like the manager of the scheduler, the manager of the cost engineer. Now that is your own department, the project controls department. You generate reports and dashboards that will support decision making. Because organization depends on the kind of knowledge you're going to be bringing in to make wise decisions. So we've talked about 10 roles that we could be working as. And one of these are things people are reading, studying in the university. So now, what are the average salaries in the US? I'm going to be speaking according to 2024 estimates. And this is based on the Project Management Institute knowledge of the salary survey conducted and placed on Glassdoor and pay scale rather. The project manager's salary per annum is within 95 to 120,000 US dollars, and it can be more. It depends on the value. It depends on your power of negotiation. The project coordinator would be paid $55,000 to $75,000. The project scheduler is paid 85,000 US dollars as it is today, between 85 to $110,000. This is good for anyone. The project planner, 85,000 to 105,000 US dollars. The project risk manager is paid sometimes above the project manager too, you see. But you need some boldness. You need some audacity to confront things, not to be running away from interviews when it's time. The cost controller and the cost engineer is paid 85,000 to 115,000 US dollars. You may check these facts. The quality assurance manager, same with the project manager. The procurement manager, same with the project manager, and sometimes even more. The stakeholder manager is same with the project scheduler, and sometimes even more. While the project control analyst is paid 85 to $105,000 per annum. This is this is something worth gunning for. So what is the demand and the growth in this industry? In 2023, about 947,630 project management specialists were employed only in the United States. And the industry is promising. And right now, as we speak in time, there are 77,000 job opening within this area. Uh-huh. There's a huge talent shortage in this domain, a huge talent shortage. And we are coming in with expertise to fill it in. And in this area, I'm going to be pleading with every one of us to ensure that we invite family members, we invite friends to be part of this class. Invite people to be part of the class. Let them come in. Share it in schools, in church. Because when we have more persons, we can be motivated. When I'm going to be giving you responsibilities, we can be motivated to get things done. Yeah. So, and somebody may be asking, what about certification? Do we not need certification? Before I say you need certification, yes, yes, and no. But before we talk about that, I want to tell you about the body that is in charge of project management in the US, which is the PMI, the Project Management Institute. They are number one around the world. And their flagship certificate is the Project Management Professional, which is the PMP certificate. And it is the gold standard for project managers. Though we have the associate level that is called the certified associate in project management. It's an entry level certificate. So in time you'll be looking at which one you need. We have the ROMP, the risk management professional. We have others. And their official website is www.pmi.org. You can get there and even become registered to be a member. I think the PMP certificate today is about 520 US dollars. But you need a certificate and you do not need a certificate. On our CVs, me, I've been a PMP for, I think this year will make me 13 years that I've been a PMP. It's the number 4 certificate in the world. Is that important? I think the CFA is number 1. The CFA which I'm gunning for, I think I've targeted the CFA for my next year project. It has 3 levels. But the PMP is the number 4 certificate in the world. It gives you the ability and the authority to answer a PMP. You can put it in your name just the way it is on my name. And it's recognized. But you do not need it. I don't want you to be distracted. I don't want you to be exam focused and be missing it out. You would design, when we get to the CV area, you will design your CV and place it daring that your PMP is in view. Your PMP is in view. Okay, somebody saying at the time my voice is not audible. Sorry about that. I don't know if it's still doing that. Can I get a feedback if the voice is still fluctuating? Alright, and you can just write. Okay, you're hearing me right now. Kai, sorry about that. This has it been so long that you don't hear me? Have you missed so much? Okay, now that is audible, let me speak. Let me speak. So that is about the certificate. We don't need it. We don't want to be distracted. So we will design our CV according to experience. Some of us will claim 2 years experience, some 3 years experience, some even 5 years experience. Then we'll put the PMP in view. And when they would invite us for the interviews, and you will go and demonstrate knowledge. So at the end of this training, we will do the CV clinic, we'll optimize our LinkedIn, position ourselves as professionals, do some posts, and when we get that done, we will now start conducting mock as our members are being called upon for interview. We'll be conducting mock in this forum. So this brings me to what project management is all about. Project management is just the application of knowledge. It's the application of skills, what you can do, application of tools and techniques to project activities to meet the project requirements. So it's application and integration of processes. So recently, we have upscaled to a level where you as a project manager, you're not only going to be doing some technical activity. No, you'll be managing the business, which means in the construction phase, in the project phase, you'll be thinking about the market also. So you must know business knowledge. You must have business knowledge and leadership knowledge because you're going to be carrying out your job amongst people. So you understand processes also. You define processes and carefully select the one that can actually cause changes. We have project management principles, about 12 of them that we'll be learning. I'm putting lots of things into your head. So when the heart is full of a thing, the mouth speaketh and the body acts. That's what I believe. So we'll talk about the 12 project management principles and when to use them because as stated in the recent edition of the project management body of knowledge, that is the book that is being used now. So I'm integrating the 7th edition and the 6th edition, compressing it into your head and then bringing in the scheduling into it, which is the Primavera. So what are the 12 value-based principles? 1, how you will be able to be diligent, be respectful, and be a caring steward. Then number 2, how you will create or collaborate with other project team members and effectively engage with stakeholders and focus on value. That's what they want you to generate. And I will teach you what value engineering is all about and what value analysis is all about. Some of you would know. And another principle is to recognize, evaluate, and respond to system integration and system interactions, via which you would demonstrate leadership behaviors. Everything rises and falls on us as project managers. Can I have a feedback if my sound had been so audible before I move on? Have you been hearing? I think today, Olaitan, who was the first person to step into this class, is appointed. Okay, somebody said yes. Okay, Olaitan, your assistant has said yes. Okay, so you learn how to, another principle is to tailor project according to the context. That is, you come up with bespoke knowledge. You build quality into processes and quality into deliverables. And you learn the optimization of risk responses. And another principle is how to navigate complexity. That's what we do. We break complex projects into smaller and more manageable packages. And we embrace adaptability and resilience in changing times. So these are that. These and that are things we will learn. Project management has five major processes. First thing we do, we initiate it, where which we define and authorize the project. And the project manager is empowered by the project charter to go ahead and carry out project activities and moves on to the next level called the planning. In the planning, he will establish the scope. And then the execution process, we move down to monitoring and controlling, and then we close the project. So these are things that we must do and we will learn as we move on. So this training is more than just a training. Like I posted in the group, I said is our launch pad into a global career. I know some of you are already doing fine wherever you are, doing better. You will know better. But imagine this comes in like a refresher. It means that you're going to be reminded of your responsibilities to do better. So I'm looking at us positioning ourselves as project leaders. Yeah. I want us to take this journey very seriously, where which we develop ourselves into project machine. When I was running MSc with Salford University, the professors they used to call me the project management prophet. That's a funny name. Because when they talk about projects, major projects in the world, they were built by my organization, Bechtel, most American top-notch, like the Hoover Dam, built by my organization. And when they're talking about principles, I'm quoting page numbers, and they were like, wow. I came in as a professional. Though I'm still here to collect my certificates, I'm owing them some bucks. I'm owing them about, yeah, that's like 9,000 pounds. Because at the time that I was rounding up, I went out of business, and ever since I've not been highly been placed to earn that much. So I've not been able to prioritize that amount in the collection of that. So that is that. So this knowledge is what they pay like 5,000 US dollars, 2,500 in different places, even 6,000 US dollars to learn. Even the Primavera to learn the Primavera is about 1,500 US dollars. And this is what we'll be getting free. And we are getting more than this. Putting the Primavera and the project management. I'm evaluating what you'll be getting. Minimum 10,000 US dollars. That's what I'm pricing on it. And because this scope is more than what you can get in 1 year, 6 months in MSc. Sometimes when they come out of MSc, they still call us to be trained for the PMP certification. Yeah. So the duration is about 3 months. And 1 week, and it's not going to end there. We're going to move on to the next phase, the interview process. So what we will be expecting in between one first month and the third month, we could have become a professional. We would know the core principles. We will have the knowledges of getting the job done. And from month two, we have started putting together our CVs, optimizing our LinkedIn pages, and we've started applying seriously. Yeah. So your support is needed. And I was talking to somebody, I don't know if he's here, if he called me from the United States and he was asking me, he said, "Do you mean this training is free? Why not you charge, even if it's 500 US dollars, 1000 US dollars?" I said, "I know you're ready to pay. You're willing to pay that. That's what why you are asking that. But that's not the idea. I need people I can recommend as I speak with you right now. Even this week, I've gotten two invites from project owners around the world. But I told them that I'm not in the United States if they are willing for me to work, do the job right from where I am. I'm in Nigeria as we speak right now. They say it's a US rule. But I said, you said remotely and then the US rule. So that's all. I need people I can recommend. They say recommend somebody in the US. Recommend somebody in the US. And I've not been able to recommend anybody. So that is why I'm training you. But okay, there's a question for Ridwan. I'm going to give you the opportunity to unmute and speak. Okay, and ask your question. Okay, it's like I'm answering your
Yeah,
question. Okay, go ahead and ask your question.
yes, I wanted to ask that is it possible to use this project management to work as a remote job? Because I'm looking at it that if it's a project management, can it be virtual also? That's my question.
Okay, 99. Thank you very much. Please pardon me for that. Thank you very much for that, your beautiful question. 99% of the jobs today are remote. In project management can be done remotely. And if they want you on ground, that means additional incentives. But 99% of it. That is why I would want people in the US to be part of it. Because they say you must be in the US. You is a remote job, but there's a kind of segregation. Everybody want to ensure that they are complying with the government, not sending out the jobs meant for the people. So it's remote, but sometimes it could be physical. All right. Okay. Someone said not audible. I'm gonna speak again. Olaitan said not audible. Okay, Olaitan, you can now unmute and tell me if I am audible now, so I can answer that again. You can hear now. All right. So I said it can be used according to the invite. You can work remotely. Someone said, how many class sessions are we having per week and how long is each class session? That is from Franklin. That's what Franklin is asking. Okay, Franklin, I'm looking at between 1 to 2 classes. It depends on how the week would be. And then the sessions would be like between 1 hour to 2 hours. Sometimes maybe more will be needed, but for now, between 1 hour to 2 hours, try as much as possible to cover up. But I'm looking at 2 classes, maybe Saturday and Sunday. And if you have anything you want to say to that, you may kindly unmute now, Franklin, and say it.
Oh yeah, so I just wanted to find out if how many sessions, like you've rightly said, 2 sessions. I just want to know, are they going to be like flexible because you said it might be two or more? Are they going to be fixed sessions per week or flexible sections?
Okay, you can keep the mic on. I really feel we should have it one class like this Saturday evening class fixed. Then we can juggle another day, maybe Sunday night, Sunday evening, and like that. Sunday early morning before service time. And I really feel that. What do you think? Who else has an opinion? Let's
So
have one class
when you
fixed.
say Sunday early morning, what time zone are you referring to?
We're working with the US time, right?
Okay.
So we can say like 6, no, 5 a.m. US time, something like that. So Nigerians can be like 11 p.m.
Mm.
Nigerians can be like 10. No, it's not a must. We can still have it the same time at the close of service, maybe move it to 8 p.m. Nigerian time, which is about 2 p.m. US time, things like that. But for now, okay, let's just say 8:30 p.m. for Sundays, and no, let's say 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. for Sundays, that is US time, and the same time, 10 a.m. and 12 a.m. California, 10 a.m., and Houston, Texas, 12 p.m. You see,
Texas is 3 hours ahead of California.
but that's for 2 hours. You
So
can
2 hours, 2 hours, I mean 10 p.m. California is 5 p.m. Texas.
no, you can check again.
Mm?
8 a.m. California was 12 a.m. was 12 a.m. It was 12 p.m. rather. Was 12 p.m. Houston, Texas today. We make let's confirm. We have some persons. Anybody in California here?
I'm in
Who is in?
California.
What's your time now?
This is 10:58 a.m.
Beautiful. That is about 10 hours from the Nigerian time. Now 10:58. Check the Texas time. You will see that it's 12:58.
Let me see.
I think Texas is always 6 hours different.
Texas is
No,
12:59. 12:59.
aha. No, so it's not 3 hours. It's 2 hours different from California.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I checked it before I fixed the time today carefully. So except that it does adjust. Okay, yeah. So we are on track. So have we taken this same time we have for Saturday? Is it good for everybody?
Yeah, it's good for me.
Olaita, I've just added you. Is it good for you? You can unmute and speak, Olaita, you can speak. I'm actually
Yeah,
giving you the right
I
of first
think
refusal.
on Saturday, I don't know if you can move it maybe 7 p.m. Nigerian time instead of 6 p.m. Nigerian time on Saturday. It's just a suggestion, and if 6 p.m. can be good by everybody, so no problem. I will adjust myself.
You, Olaita, at this time, I would say adjust. You know why?
Okay,
The, the people in US are the priority according to their time
okay,
for now. Are you getting what I'm saying? And even that 6 is not too bad for us in Nigeria. So you may not, okay, so let's say 6 p.m. Nigerian time. Then for Sunday, I want us to move it further to 2 hours further for everybody. But it's we can still review it. Is that is
okay.
for Sunday?
By
No, 2 hours
for
further
Sunday,
will not be good. 2 hours further will not be good for California because they may still be in church
2 hours further from what time though?
on Sunday. 2 hours further from this time that we are.
Okay.
That is 12. That is 12 a.m. and 12 p.m. for California and 2 p.m. for for Texas.
Yeah,
12.
because I think most for me, I close from church around that kind of 12. Most of the time, church goes beyond 12, uh, to close to 1, depending on the activity that I mean, how the church service is conducted. Yeah, so
So
maybe something for California on Sunday. Anyway, let me speak for myself. For my schedule, like on Sunday after 1, something after 1 would be a good schedule for me and a Furike, the person you said called.
all right, we're gonna let's for now say 3 hours further. So 9 p.m. Nigeria, 1 p.m. California, 3 p.m. Texas. Is that okay?
Yeah, that would be good.
That is a good one for you.
Hmm.
That's a good one for you. But Tolu, can you speak? I can see that Tolu is here and he has been quiet.
I'm good on the time. Whatever the time decision you guys make is fine with me.
It's always good to hear this your voice. Your voice is motivating. You know, this is the action man's voice, the real man's voice.
Well done. Well done.
I'm going to be taking classes under you very, very soon on how to speak with such dexterity, and even presidents too can now start listening. Okay,
Flattery will get you everywhere. Thank you.
not flattering you. You know, I'm not the first commending you on this.
Oh no, I know, man.
All right. So more questions will come. So now talking about the last thing, I would voluntary support would be needed from us. Just voluntary individual support. Maybe at the end of the week, you can just say, okay, let me do $5, let me do $2, let me do $10, let me do whatever that you have to do just to keep the class go ongoing, because more people will be joining us. And you see, we would be thinking of, thank God the people can hear us, but even when they are not being added, but we will need paid platforms. We will need paid platforms, and so need instructor will not be struggling to come up and do certain things. Okay, some incentives, tiny incentives. How about that? Because I really feel we we should have a stake, because some persons what they get for free, they don't really value it. I'll tell you the truth. Free can actually rob you. Can actually rob you. I told you about a friend that I was teaching for free, and he was saying that, Franklin, I don't understand what you're saying.
Oh, I'm just saying, I mean, it goes without saying that, I mean, it's kind of expected that we should be able to support. I mean, like you earlier said about the StreamYard, continuing with the free one, or maybe you want to switch to Zoom, a more class friendly platform as well. You need some form of subscription on the Zoom to accommodate the length of the class and so on. So it goes without saying that, I mean, gestures like that would be recommended.